Happy Q&A Friday to one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Daily Voiceover Huddle. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor. And every morning we hop on the YouTubes to give you a little bit of information and advice on growing your voiceover business or sustaining your voiceover business. And I'm glad you're here. We made it through the week. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, pick up the book called The Voiceover Blueprint in the description below. Less than $10, you get the audiobook, you get the digital book, you get 4 free gifts for less than $10. And of course, since today is Q&A Friday, in addition to chiming in on the chat, letting me know where you're watching from, go ahead and pop in your questions. And of course, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Always appreciate that as well. So before we get into today's Q&A session, I want to tell you something that literally just happened like a minute ago. Right before I hit the button to go live on YouTube, this just goes to show you, I've been in this booth way too long. Right before I hit the button to go live, I instinctively reached down and grabbed my clicker because for some reason I cannot record without this thing in my left hand. It's some sort of, Pavlov thing or something. As soon as, I don't know why, but as soon as uh, I hit that button, right before I hit the button, I grabbed the clicker because I thought I was about to do some recording. It just goes to show you, man, after who knows how many thousand projects, it's just tattooed on my forehead. So crazy. So that was kind of a funny little situation there. Also, today is the last day for the regular price or the cheaper price of Tuesday's webinar on the Voice Over Launchpad, which covers basic, foundational, fundamental information that you have to have in this business, or else you're cooked. The price will go up when it hits our website next week. So if you want to get it at the lower price through midnight tonight is when that's going up. So link in the description, catch the replay of that webinar. If you're brand new, it's a great roadmap. If you're not brand new and you're just kind of stuck, it's also a really good reminder of things you might have missed that is maybe causing you to be stuck. Of course, if you're raking it in and you've got all the clients you need, then don't even bother. So there you go. Okay. Oh, one last thing before we get to questions. We have cooked up for you something amazing, and I'm just going to tease it a little bit right now. I'm going to talk about it more on Monday, but what I'm going to announce on Monday is quite possibly the biggest opportunity I've ever seen in voiceover out of all the time I've been doing this. It is something super special. So stay tuned on for that because it is going to be something that will blow your mind. We've been working on this for months now, and we're ready to actually announce it on Monday. So a little bit of a tease. Okay, let's see who's in today and answer some questions. Good morning to David from Hamilton, Ontario. First one in today. And Ron from Grand Haven, Michigan. And there is Sean from Longview. And Dennis. I see I have to really focus. Is it Dennis or Denise? There's Dennis says, happy Friday, everyone, from Pasadena. Good morning to you, Dennis. And there's Wayne from Port Orchard, Washington. Good morning. And Jason, happy Friday, voiceover fam from Kearney, Nebraska. And there's Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. There's old Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. Good morning to you. Becky says, so excited, friends. I just had my first directed session after sending out emails yesterday. That's fantastic. Hey, Becky, do me a favor. Post that in the Facebook group on the Blueprint, the private Facebook group. It's always good whenever you get a win like that to post it to give, to help others get motivated and show them that this stuff works. So post that story in the Facebook group. Jason says, "Are there any mistakes you made at the beginning of your career or somewhere along the way you'd be willing to warn us about making?" Yes, and that's also a lot of what I talk about in that Tuesday night webinar that I did a few days ago. We talk about all the mistakes, well, not all of them because there's a lot. We talked about the top 5 mistakes that new voice actors make. But let's see if I can come up with some. Um, well, okay, the first one that I did, and I talked about this a few days, maybe I don't know, a week or 2 ago, demo mills. Remember the demo mills we talked about? Where they have you come to a weekend seminar and record a demo, and they don't care about your success afterwards. They just send you on your way, and the only thing they care about is if your credit card swipes. Got bit by one of those, um, and, basically wasted about 5 grand on a demo that was worthless. It was just mediocre at best. And, it was soon after that, that I found the blueprint and actually started working with Bill, and that completely changed everything for me. So, that's a big one. Demo mills, avoid them like the plague. What else? Well, I guess on top of that would be marketing that demo. I didn't know what I didn't know at that point, and I was just marketing that demo and not getting any traction on it, and ended up reaching out to Bill personally and said, "Hey, can you listen to this demo and let me know maybe what I'm doing wrong or what the issue is here?" And, we reviewed it and started from scratch, and as soon as I got a demo done by him, it was just like, pew! I mean, it just took off. So, anyway, that would be one, without trying to take up too much time here, I'm trying to think of anything else. Okay, here's another one, and this is something I also talked about on Tuesday night, was, trying to go it alone. I thought that, just getting the demo done and then just going out there and trying my best to get it in front of the right people. I didn't know what I was doing. I was not doing good email marketing. I didn't have, the right infrastructure in place to track all these people that I was trying to reach out to and the people who would, reply back and all that. So I was just kind of flying blind. And, so that would be another big mistake is don't try to just jump into this thing and figure it out on your own. Once I got into the blueprint and I knew the right things to do, and more importantly, the things to avoid, then it was just like zeroed in. There's Grady in Ithaca, New York. Good morning to you, or afternoon. And there's Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. And Jason says, "All right, Becky, way to go." Directed sessions can be, if you're not used to them, can be a little nerve-wracking when you first start doing them. They, because you could have anywhere between 1 and who knows how many people sitting there and listening to you record, and, they can be a little scary. So, I'm glad you got you through yours, Becky, and, hopefully more to come. Edward says, "Happy Friday from Jacksonville, Florida," and there's Alan from Philly. Edward says, what kind of material did you use for your booth ceiling and floor?" Well, this I didn't build this myself. This is a store-bought, booth, but I believe they used I don't know if they used MDF or what. It looks like a kind of an MDF with an insulation on it, and then the foam on top of that. That's all I can really tell. But that's what they used for the walls and ceiling and floor, and then of course the RLX foam on top of that. There's Callie from Pasco, Washington. Good morning to you. and Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. Hey, Andrew from Latvia. Good to see you here. And David from Toledo. Sarah says, hello from Kentucky. Have an appointment to talk with Fred this afternoon about possibly joining the blueprint. Need help getting from the spark and through the drop. Abso-freaking-lutely. It is really important. And yes, that's another thing that I talked about on Tuesday night. I guess Sarah was on that call or on that webinar. The success cycle, the spark is where everything is just happy and roses and you're excited about starting. And then you feel like, oh my goodness, there's so much to learn and I don't know how to get through this. And so, yes, that's what we're all about here at the Blueprint. So yeah, you'll have a good chat with Fred. He'll talk you all through it. And there's Alex from Utah and Denise from Long Island. There's John from ATL. Happy Friday to you. And Doug from Greensboro, North Carolina. Denise says, whoop, whoop, Becky. I think, aren't you guys buddies, like, accountability partners or, I always advise people to, um, in the Blueprint anyway, well, even not in the Blueprint, is to find an accountability partner. So, a partner in crime, the buddy system that you can kind of compare notes with and hold each other accountable. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Denise and Becky are partners in that. So correct me if I'm wrong. JJ, also in the Blueprint, she says, happy Friday, Mike, and all VO Blueprinter here. Got another audiobook yesterday. Awesome. Keep going. You're crushing those audiobooks, JJ. Denise says, Sarah, we'd love to have you in the Blueprint. Yes, indeed. Sandra says, after spending a lot of time on marketing, when do you actually work? Well, what I did and do really is when I'm not recording, when I'm not working, of course, it's all work, but when I'm not working, meaning recording, I am marketing and vice versa. So it's literally just either or. Now, I have been guilty of doing that too much. So I need to also take breaks. So I do some of that now, or at least I try to. But it, as long as you're doing the right marketing, the work will happen. As long as you've got, the good samples to share with people and you're targeting the right people in your marketing efforts and you've got a good website for everything to live on, then the work will happen, but you just have to do a whole lot of it. A lot of people just don't realize how much marketing is involved in this. They think, oh, I built my website and everybody's just going to come knocking my door down. No, you've got to go out and get it. And that's where a lot of people fail. And that's one of the things we focus on in the Blueprint is not only the performance and the getting the good demo and all that side of things, but how do you go out and actually get in front of the right people? That is the key. So with the combination of those two, it works, but just be patient. Theo says, happy Friday to y'all from downtown Chicago. There's a bunch of us huddling here today. Reminder to hit the like button. What's not to like? Thank you, Theo. And Gretchen says, good morning from Adrian. Kirk says, you're such a tease. I guess you're talking about that thing for Monday. Oh, it's good. Oh, I cannot wait. It's so good. Maria says, happy Friday from Rhode Island. Happy Friday to you, Maria. There's Nephi from Knoxville. I was hoping you were going to be on today. And Police Commander Z3, haven't heard from you in a minute. Happy Friday from ATL. Callie says, what were the specific issues you and Bill found with that first demo? Ooh, good question, Callie. Number one was production value. It was just music and voice. And we all know that when it comes to commercials, most commercials anyway, it's more than just music and voice. There are sound effects, and those kinds of things that kind of that all important third element to really make your demo sound like the real thing instead of just, I'm going to slap some music on this dry read and call it a day. So that was number one. Number two was, and going back and remembering the recording session, this is the opposite of how you should do it. Um, he was just giving a bunch of line reads. The director was just giving me a bunch of line reads. Say it like this, repeat after me, versus letting me actually do the the acting, you know. You ask any actor out there, nobody likes to be given the line read or given the way to say it. You know, say it like this. There's direction, which is steering people in the right way, but you need to leave it up to the actor to put their own interpretation on it, as long as that interpretation, you know, matches what you're going for. But when I was recording that demo, the guy was just going, "Okay, read it like this, say it after me." And of course, it came across as just not good. I've still got it. It's not good at all. But I keep it to show how far I've come. And so those were the two main issues, was the not the sound quality. The sound quality was good, but the production value, meaning the bells and whistles. And then of course the performance was not there. So that's what it was. JJ says, also letting yourself get discouraged. Always keep hope in your heart. My piano teacher said, keep a green bow in your heart, or bow. Is that bow or bow? Bough. And the singing bird will come. Bow. Okay. I said, no, should have read the whole thing. Keep a green bow in your heart and the singing bird will come, and baby steps every day. That's it. Couldn't have said it better myself. And there's Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio. Good morning to you. And James from Detroit, Michigan. Good morning. Kirk says, when I can justify the expense, I'll get a whisper room. I noticed your other booth guy is struggling or out of business. Yeah, he is. He had a kind of a string of bad luck. And who I'm talking about is the guy who owns Voice Suite, which was a newer company who built this booth. And he had a series of incidents at his building, like the roof caved in and all kinds of stuff. He lives in Park City, Utah. And is it Park City or Salt Lake? It's Park City. And he had snow cave in his building, and he's been really struggling to try to get back into the swing of things, but just could not catch up. So he's basically going to fold up. But he is sworn that he is fulfilling all of the orders that he has in, as long as it takes him. So hopefully that's the case. You know, I was lucky enough to get my booth before all that happened, but yeah, it's he's in a bad way right now. Maria says, I'm so happy I joined the Blueprint. It's an investment in me and worth every penny. Thank you, Maria. That means a lot. That's very nice. Yeah, Maria joined a couple of weeks ago, I think. And yeah, there's no doubt it's not cheap. I'm going to be honest with you, but it is an investment. And the amount of stuff you get with our program is not even close as far as, you know, the quality and quantity of it versus other programs. It's not even close. So that's why you hear all these success stories about people in the Blueprint just, you know, killing it because it's so robust. Um, but remember the ROI, return on investment, right? You got to spend to make money, but if you put it in the right place and learn the right things and have the right blueprint on how to do it, it happens. James says, jealous of the booth, currently got myself acoustic blankets on tripods at the church to get my sound, or resorting to getting under the blankets and bed at home. That, you know, remember, if it sounds good, it is good. Who cares what it looks like? I've worked with and recorded demos with people who are in blanket forts and they sound fantastic. So don't get caught up in trying to get the fancy schmancy booth. Your space is important. In fact, it's very, very important, but it doesn't have to look pretty. Yeah, wait until you actually do have, the income to be able to do something nicer. But in the meantime, don't sweat it. Just keep recording. Eddie says, I want accountability buddy. I want an accountability buddy. Yep. They help for sure, keeping you guys, on point. Happy and joyful from Florida. Good morning to you. Afternoon. Becky says, Denise and I are as thick as thieves, been accountability partners for years now. Rob Ryder even asked to join us. Highly recommended. Yeah. And both of you guys are crushing it. And so that just goes to show you how important that is. The Blueprint group in itself is very supportive, just as a general, as a whole. But individuals who partner up, are even more supportive because you can bounce ideas off and compare notes. And that's what a lot of people like about the Blueprint is that it is such a supportive and generous community, and people share ideas and tips and tricks and things to kind of, help you, you know, do whatever it is you're trying to do. Um, all those opinions matter. In fact, that's what I tell people in the Blueprint. I'm happy to answer questions via email if you've got them, but you're going to get so much more kind of bang for your buck on questions by posting it in the group, because you're going to get all kinds of different answers um, to help you versus just one guy's opinion. Uh, so yeah, it's a good idea always. Eddie says, how much do you charge to review my demo? Well, for you, I'm going to say free 99, free 99. No, yeah, nothing. I'm not going to charge anybody to listen to a demo. Not at all. Just send it over. Mike at MikeHathcote.com. Happy to listen to it. JJ says, can't wait to hear about the new event. Oh, boy, is it. It's it's not just an event, it's a happening. It is, let's put it this way, it's more than one event. That's a little more tease for you. David says, hello, Mike. You do pro demos, right? And are you more affordable than others? And are more affordable than others? Is that correct? Yes. The way I do my demos, they are pro demos, but they're a little different in that we work together on it. There's a few ways to do a demo. You can do one on your own, DIY. You can do a demo where you go hire a producer who does everything for you, meaning they pick out your scripts, they direct you through the recording. They take the recording and they put the music and effects and process it and make it sound and, like the real thing. And then they hand you the demo. That's another way to do it. My process is kind of a combination of both. I would rather teach you to fish than give you a fish. Some people don't want to learn how to fish. They just want to be handed a fish, and that's fine. You want to go to a producer and have them hand you a demo when you're done. That's great. The way mine works is that we work together over the course of several sessions. We work together on finding scripts. We work together on practicing. We work together on recording, and we work together on putting it together. So at the end of that, you've got a demo that is marketable on a pro level. So you can go out and do your direct marketing just like any other pro demo, but you also know how the sausage is made. You know the backside of things. You know how that works. And so because of that, yes, the price is usually lower than just someone doing all the work for you because you're getting your hands dirty as well. And so there is definitely a price break on doing it that way because we've both got skin in the game. And so that's how that works. JJ says, could not do the VO without the Blueprint and the coaches. Oh, thank you, JJ. Yeah, and I mentioned this, I believe, was last Friday when I did a shout out for all the coaches that are involved in the Blueprint. Everybody who hosts our weekday webinars Monday through Friday on every topic. Um, Kayla, who does double duty, Kayla Brick, who does double duty, she does our Friday night webinar tonight on Upwork, but she also handles all of our member support. So there's just so many. It takes a village, right? And so it's not just me. So many people are involved in this thing, and that's why people love it. Sandra says, happy to hear accountability buddies are part of the blueprint. I suggested that to Bill because it had been such an important part of my work. We call it doing the hard things. That's right. This stuff is not, you know, I think it's been a while. I talked about it being, what was the phrase? Uh, simple but not easy. Is that right? Simple but not easy. I'll have to go back a few weeks and look at it. But anyway, this job is fairly simple once you know the basics. Um, it's not a complicated process once you actually have your demos and stuff, but you just have to know the right things to do. It's not, but it's not easy to do it. You know, there's a lot involved in it. So it's simple. The process is simple, but doing the work is not easy. You just have to keep going and doing it. So yeah. Um, but the more you do it, I will say this, the more you do it, the easier it does get. It never gets easy, but it gets easier than when you first start. Because I've worked with people in the blueprint who, they get their demos and they go out and they start doing their marketing and they get kind of frustrated because it can be a little bit of a slog to go out and find the right people. But the process works as long as you're following that process. If you kind of stray off of that, that's when it can start to get a little dicey. But if you stay the course and you do what we teach and you have the good stuff to back it up, it does work, but it takes time. All right. Any other questions from anybody else? Hey, there's Mark from London, England. Good to see you here. All right. No more questions, maybe? Oh, Mark says, I would like to start getting into voiceover. Well, you're in the right place. You have now found the number one voiceover related YouTube channel on the interwebs. 1,500 free videos, 84,500 subscribers, free advice every single weekday. So feel free to hop on here. Another good place to start, if you haven't yet picked up this book. This is the book that I wish I had had when I started. Link in the description below. It's called The Voiceover Blueprint. It covers everything you need to know to get started in this business. So check that out in the description. You can get it for less than $10, audiobook and the digital download, and 4 free gifts just to get you started. David says, I believe you mentioned you were originally from Kentucky and had to lose some of the Southern accent. It was Tennessee, not Kentucky, but you're close. Um, I'm a mix of Northern Ohio, Southern West Virginia, North Carolina, and now Canada. Need help. Wow. Okay. So, um, first of all, what people are going to be looking for in as far as clients, or most clients anyway, they're going to want a neutral American accent if you're in the States, if you're looking for work in the States. And even sometimes overseas, they like American accents because I don't know why, but they just do. I've got plenty of clients who are, from overseas. So they do need those. But in order to lose your accent, what I did was I worked with a dialect coach. I also don't live there anymore, so that helps too. When you're submerged in it, it's harder to lose that accent than, if you escape and get somewhere else where they do just kind of have that neutral sound. Whenever I go back to Tennessee, which I'm doing at the end of June, for my documentary. It is just like just a slap in the face when I hear everybody talk. It's like, wow, can't believe that's what I used to sound like. So, dialect coaches, and just Google those. There's also a lot of YouTube videos on how to lose a specific dialect or accent. So maybe check those out. Those are going to be free, obviously. Um, and then just practice. There are certain vowels, and it's usually the vowels that cause certain accents. For instance, Southern accent, a lot of it is the I sound. You know, instead of saying I, it's more like ah. They kind of chop it off there. So that's one. A lot of Canadians have a certain thing with ow sounds, like house and mouse and couch. It's more like hose and boat, kind of that Midwestern kind of a sound. So anyway, there's all kinds, but just do some research on either dialect coaches or look at some YouTube videos and just practice. Um, that's all I can tell you. It took me a long time. And I'm still, I'm not free of it. I can fall back into it. And people on here have told me before that every now and then it comes out. And so I have to still stay on top of that. There's Kathleen from Wyoming. Have a great weekend to you. Eddie says, email sent. Thank you again. There it is. Just got it. Bob says, I went to school with a really cute girl. She moved to Atlanta. At the class reunion, that Georgia accent just made her amazing. I bet. Yeah, there is something endearing about the Southern accent. Um, and yeah, but it does limit you in the amount of work that you can do if you do have that strong Southern accent. But you can also lean into it. A good buddy of mine, Troy Holden, markets himself as the Southern accent guy, kind of that blue collar, gritty Southern sound, and kills it. He gets plenty of work. So if you lean into it and market yourself that way, you can do it. But it does kind of pigeonhole you into that one category or that one way of doing it. So just, be careful. Sarah says, I like Troy Holden's approach. Yeah. Troy also runs the VO Life Facebook group. And he was one of my, well, I wouldn't say very first. He was one of my early coaching students many, many years ago. Hokino says, good times and luck at the Las Vegas happening. Take care and let it happen. See you on the flip. Nice. Yeah, this is more than just, well, I don't want to give too much more away. We'll talk about it on Monday. So that's something for you guys to think about over the weekend. It is going to be amazing. So keep you in the loop on that as we get there. All right, guys, I'm going to get to work. Each and every one of you, please have a good weekend. And I'll see you back here on Monday morning and we'll get right back into the swing. Until then, break a lip. Peace.